Appreciate you guys for stopping by, and I'm saying welcome to the update. Now, this is a broadcast that was aired uh, some days back, and it talks about the government side of disbursement. I want you guys to listen to it very carefully and learn one or two things from what was just said, and let me know or let us know in the comment section what you think or what is the best solution to this disbursement. Is this disbursement or palliative? Which one is better for subscribers? Comment in the comment section, and let's keep the conversation going in the comment section. Appreciate you guys, and thank you for stopping by. Welcome to the update. Listen to this video and tell us in the comment section what you think. And bye for now.
Mr. Martins, our economist and financial expert. Good morning, UD Francis. We are looking at some of the issues in the grand community this morning, and this is the formidables. So, as we stated last week, this program is about enlightenment and information and giving accurate information analysis on issues in the grand community so that the subscribers of various clans can be well informed and educated so that they know how to adjust their thinking capacity and maybe when needs be they know where we are in the stream of time. So over the years we've seen that various grant handlers have come up with a mouth-watering amount to be given to Nigerians as grants and what have you. Even though so many of them have never fulfilled that promise, but they came out with all this mouth-watering, very inviting, very exciting figures, very humongous figures that they have as grants to be given to Nigerians. From Telpecon, who came up with 10 million naira per beneficiary, and others came up with 2 million, some 5 million, and even others like Mama Supreme said he's going to give 300,000. I think Osim Grant also grassroots stuff also promised people whether 100,000. So many of them they have been promising various amounts. Theobarth promised us beneficiaries 1.8 million. And even the current UAAG, even though the officials have not come up to give us the real amount they want to pay, but the promoters keep on saying that the money is in the region of millions, like 5 millions, like 3 millions, 1.5 millions, 2.5 millions, and what have you. So now the question we want to ask ourselves is that were these figures or these figures that have been banded by all the grand handlers over the years, even though they have not fulfilled it, are they really something to be are they realistic or are they something to be relied upon that can be given out to millions, 50 million Nigerians, 75 million Nigerians, and 100 million Nigerians? Do you think these figures banded all over the years are realistic? Maybe I just throw that to the open house. Maybe Judy Francis, you can just share your thoughts.
All right, thank you very much, comrade. Thank you. I think I have to add something there.
Okay.
Yes, Tel Pecon, and because I could remember the Tel Pecon stuff was about 10 billion, 10 billion per outlet, and from that Tel Pecon, you get so many of them, Theobarth, and now we're talking about UAG. You talk about Supreme. Then I overheard you mention Osim Grant. All these humongous amount of money, they are not realistic. They are not realistic because since they have made this promise, have they been able to fulfill it? The answer is no. And then now you check. In fact, before we go further, I think yesterday in the Punch newspaper, you saw where the president approved 50,000 naira. 50,000 naira. That is to tell you how, how this government value money, how they value money. So the impression all these ground handlers have created in ground community is too bad, because it's affecting the masses. So the money they are mentioning is not realistic and cannot be. It cannot be. Thank you very much.
All right, let me now give a chance to our economic expert, somebody who knows what it means to give money, to invest, and things like that in the financial sector. I'm talking about Mr. Martins. What is your view on this issue?
All right, thank you, comrades. I want to appreciate you for bringing me up this morning to talk on this matter. Before now, I have thought about it severally when people come to me telling me that what they're expecting in the next 2 months will turn them to billionaires. I remember about 2 years ago, somebody walked up to my office and he said, in the next 6 months, we will have 10 billion in his account. And I wonder how in this country, Nigeria, so a lot of people will just walk in and let us know that they're expecting about 1 trillion, 500 billion. That in the next six, some of them have even started looking for houses in Ikoyi, Guaripa in Abuja to buy. So, I mean, look at the net worth of this guy. Some of them, those people have up to 100,000 in their account. And I begin to wonder, are you going to do money ritual? Even if you do money ritual now, I'm sure you'll not be thinking of 1 billion. Talk less of having a power 10 billion, about 10 billion in the next 6 months. So the question is, how come? Where? How? Is it that the money God will rain manna from heaven and bring down, nairas and dollars and stuff for you? But the truth is, we've not, come to the reality of what is going to happen, or what we have on ground that can turn the situation around. I mean, based on our expectations and things we're expecting from these guys, we are not really sat down to look at the reality, how possible it is. So this morning, let me just share some little analysis with us for us to have an understanding that this is not possible. I'm going to start from Nigeria budget. Nigeria budget for this year is just 27.5 trillion. That is the total budget for Nigeria as a country, 27.5 trillion. And our expected revenue for this year, what we are expected to get as revenue is just 18 trillion as a nation. Our GDP last year was $252.75 billion. That's just about 252 trillion naira. So GDP simply means our total monetary value, or let's say our total market value of goods, of finished goods and services. That means your worth. Then take for example now, as a person, if I have a land, I have a fridge, I have television, I have a TV, I have a car. My net worth is a function of the sales of those products.
Yes.
Okay. So if, for example, a nation, Nigeria as a whole, our GDP is 253 trillion. That is our net worth. That is the market value of our goods and services, right from the woman that is selling on the street to NNPC, to all our multinationals. The woman that is selling paper in the market and everybody in the nation, our value is just 253 trillion as
Billion.
a report.
Okay.
Trillion.
Yeah.
As a last year. So if we have that as a hand, I will now look at the allocation. What is the allocation that they give to government, all the 3 tiers of government that we share annually? For April 2024, government shared 1.8 trillion among the federal, the state,
And the local government.
So let's even have an average of 1.87 in a year, in a month, times 12. That means the total money we are going to share as our allocation is just 21.6 trillion. That's 21 trillion. A whole year to pay all the government, federal government, state, and local government, 21 trillion. Okay? So for our allocation, on our allocation now, for to share is just 21 trillion. Our GDP asset for 2024 is 27.5 trillion.
Billion.
So if you now trillion naira, everything naira. If you now compare to what these grant handlers are promising, let's just do a comparison and see how possible it is. Okay, I just look at it. Okay, we are looking at 50 million Nigerians, right?
Yes.
Above
50 million Nigerians.
Above 50 million Nigerians.
Okay, let's just put an average of 50 million Nigerians.
Oh.
Because some of them promised they are going to give 50 million Nigerians, 50 million Nigerians.
Yes.
If you
Some say 75 million.
Huh?
Some say 75 million. Even UAAG said 100 million.
Some say 100 million. But let's just do a benchmark of 50 million Nigerians.
Okay.
50 million Nigerians that they want to give 3 million. We are not looking at 10 million. I think Sam said 10 million. And then, okay, some people are saying 1.8, let's just make it 3 million to 50 million Nigerians. If you look at if we do the calculation very well, what we get there is 150 trillion.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Times 2.
So, in which economy will you pump that to? And from what budget?
For what budget? That's 150 trillion.
Jesus.
If you have the cluster head money, let's say cluster head is 100,000 among the 550 million, and some of them promise 100 million, and the CEO money and everything, that will give you additional 20 million. So what it means, 20 trillion. So what it means is, from the grant handler, what he's saying is he has 170 trillion to give out. 170 trillion. Remember that the GDP, that is the market value of
everything,
is just 253 trillion. And somebody is promising you 170 trillion. The entire GDP of Ghana is just 72 trillion. So what it means is Ghana times 2 is less than that.
What the Grand Handler has
the cost of Ghana as a country multiplied by 2.
It's lovable. It's lovable.
It's less than what a Grand Handler is promising us. That's 50 million. That's 50 million Nigerians that is expecting
3 million naira each
as beneficiary fund. Ghana multiplied by 2 is less than the cost of that grant. So what it means is, if that grant that has come out and people have believed in and people are keen into it, we are dropping money, we are subscribing to it, what it's saying is it has 67% of our GDP as a nation.
Wow.
Everybody in Nigeria, both Dangote, Otedola, the multinationals, the companies, government, parastatals, market women and everything, that grant has 67% of our work as a nation.
Which means even the Grand Handler can even form his own country.
He can form his own country and move all the people in the ecosystem and put them in that particular country.
I hope Cashflow is listening to this. Cashflow, I hope you are listening to this.
What it means is the grant handler has 6 years of a Nigeria budget. Because if our budget for this year is just 27.5
trillion,
and he has 170 trillion to give us, That means we can afford our budget for the next 6 years. You see how impossible that is? I just feel the same. I just feel what we've done to ourselves. You see, I just, when I see people telling me 100 billion, 10 billion, 15 billion, someone say I've gone to price a house in Abuja and the house is about 1 billion. I just buy 1 billion mansion in Abuja. And you don't have 1 million in your account. I say, are you mad? Are you from which planet are you from?
Yeah, comrade. Yes, comrade.
Let me ask cash flow. Cash flow.
Excuse me, comrade. Excuse me, comrade.
Okay.
Do you now see the reason why they always laugh at me whenever I went to the bank, to talk about this billion? Do you now see the reason why they laugh at me? In fact, they sees me as a madman. Where is this madman coming from? Do you now see the reason? Because when they analyze what I'm talking about, they discover that maybe something is wrong with this person. Honestly,
that is it. Because let me bring in cash flow. Cash flow, what is your take? You've been in this community for a long time. Have you also had such experience of going to a bank to open an account and now did they look at you that you were expecting billions of naira? let me say this. If the atlas have even we plan to give and they grant 100,000 naira per beneficiary. I said if the grant handlers have even told the government they have a grant to give Nigeria per beneficiary is 100,000 naira or 200,000 naira. Believe me, the government can even allow them to disburse it. But when they come and say per beneficiary is 3 million, 5 million, the owner of the NGO will go home with 10 billion, 50 billion. The government on their own will look at them and say, 10 billion for an NGO. Let us even see the document of the grant. Where is this money domicile? When they go and check and they go, how did this person actually came with this money? You know what? The government will never allow such a huge amount of money into the economy. We never. But if they have opened up and said, okay, this is what we are giving, it's just 100,000 naira, it's 50,000 naira, just like government, the federal government has been giving a 50,000 naira to Nigeria. Believe me, the government will allow them. But you see, these people, like we said last time, out of greed, the handlers have even extorted the poor masses. They are driving on expensive jeeps, buying expensive houses here and there. This alone have attracted the government to prove them. This alone have attracted the poor masses. They have extorted to report them to the authority. These people told us they have a grant to give us. We subscribe to it. They are not giving us the money, but they are driving. They are going about with jeeps with our securities. There was a time I saw Theophilus. Oh my God! You would think a president is coming to visit a community. You would think a governor of a state is the one passing. And this is a man who has promised the people heaven and earth, and nothing has been able to, nothing he has been able to give. You see, the reality of it is that it is greed that led us to these people. And I can say it categorically with all boldness that the money, the amount of money they are even talking about is not there.
Mm-hmm.
At all.
Okay, that huge amount of money is not even there. It's not there.
Okay, hold on your thought there. Hold on your thought. Don't you think they bring in this humongous amount so that they can attract people. Because if you say, oh, if you subscribe, if you bring 1,000, I give you 10,000 naira or 20,000, it will not be attractive. But when you tell somebody that, oh, if you bring 20,000, I give you 200 million or 100 million as grant, it looks attractive, it looks inviting. Don't you think that there is a kind of deceit in the first place in this advertisement? Let me say this. Forget about beneficiaries now. If 8,000 people pay 100,000 naira, calculate it. How much is that? 8,000 NGOs give you 100,000 naira each. Do you know how much is that? Okay. If 8,000 NGOs give you, you said 80 million. 80 million. That's 80 million. If 8,000 NGOs are giving you 30,000 naira each, do you know how much it is? And now people are now registering for this grant, and they call it, and they told the NGOs, if you must bring in your NGOs, you must support the project. I'm supporting the NGO, supporting the project. Somebody like me, when I was supporting the UAAG, I paid 200,000 naira. Some persons pay 300,000, some pay 500,000 naira. And believe me, I attended a meeting with Chief Akogun where he told us in that meeting that the money he gave to UAAG is more than 50 million naira. And many others gave like that. So these are some of the areas the grant handlers are extorting money from the poor masses to enrich their own state.
Yes.
So when they tell the poor masses pay 1,000 naira, you are going to get 5 million naira, 5 million or 10 million,
And
or 10 million naira.
Excuse me, comrade. Let me before I forget this thing. And do you know the negative strategies they usually came up with? They will be telling masses, they will be telling people, especially this one of UAG, that what is coming is huge, what is coming is huge, what is coming is huge. What is that is coming? Number one, you people have not set your eyes on the document. You don't even know how much that is on ground. And you kept telling people what is coming is huge, what is coming is huge. In fact, that is mischievous. Okay, that is mischievous. Telling people what is coming is
I agree with you.
Yes, what is coming is huge. And they don't know amount that is even on ground.
In the document.
Yes. You don't even know anything. But you kept telling people. And most of these people that used to tell the masses that what is coming is huge, the masses sees them as people that can trust and respect, but by the end of the day, you see, they disappoint them. Now what is coming is huge. You convince people, you convince the masses or the poor, even the people that don't even have, they will go and borrow, and what is coming is huge. By the end of the day, you now tell the people that the document is in the hand of the government. And which government is that? That is deceit. Comrade, you can continue.
Okay. Let me say this. Do you know when we started hearing this issue of palliative? I remember that I put a call to one or two persons. In fact, I called Osi. I called somebody like Mr. Kendra, and some persons. I said, what I am hearing and I have investigated is palliative, which the AGPGN are telling Nigerians now. That what the government is saying they are going to allow into the economy or into the hands of the beneficiaries is just a palliative. Some of them got angry. Some of them got angry and said no. And in fact, Osim will even post it in his own platform and said, don't forget about what people are saying, forget about their palliative. It is millions he's expecting. Okay, let me hold your. Okay, I remembered
when some group of men visited even the country director of UAAG. They told me that the country director of UAAG told them that he will not give less than what is on the document, which I assume that he has seen the document.
I think, oh,
And I asked the person, what is on the document? He said, what is on the document is 3 million naira per beneficiary. I don't know if you're understanding what I'm saying.
yes.
3
What
million
was
on the
the
document
error?
is 3 million naira per beneficiary. And that these guys, the UAGPJ that are saying they want to give a palliative, they have compromised with the government to siphon the money. So this is where the whole issue lies. You have not seen the document. You have not seen what is on the document. You are coming to tell Nigerians it is 5 million, it is 10 million, it is 3 million naira you want to give to Nigerians. And in the process of you telling Nigeria this is what you want to give, see, Nigerians or black people are actually very gullible. We don't ask questions before we do anything. So long that we are black people and we are in this continent, believe me.
And the thing is very enticing.
And
the information is enticing and sweet to the ears.
Sweet to the ears. So whatever they tell us, we agree. This is what has put a lot of persons into trouble today. Let me tell you, when Supreme started, I became a very good friend to Mama Supreme. I registered a lot of people, a lot of persons in Mama Supreme. The little change they paid to me when I discovered that this woman has no money. You know, when you tell somebody, give me 5,000 naira, I want to give you 100 million.
Now,
The person say 100 million, give me 5,000. And they go and even if they don't have, they go and borrow that money and bring for you. Let me tell you, after gathering this money and I send it to the woman. When the issue of Supreme became a disappointing issue to all Nigerians, I started looking for ways to bring the people their money back, putting me, the CEO, into trouble. Because from these people to give to this woman. This is the issue on ground. We don't ask questions, we just drop into it. My advice, I will keep advising Nigeria. Please, in fact, stay away from anything they call grant. If it's not coming from the government.
So, but okay, comrades, cash flow. You know, like let's refer to the meeting before last held by the country director of the UAAG, Pastor Abi Bishop, or is it Apostle Ken Wakama? He actually said in that meeting that what he will give to Nigeria is not palliative, but grants. That those who want to give palliative should go ahead and give their palliative. But what he promised, like, if you don't see the document, you don't have the document. How do you know how much is in the document? That is the question. You've not seen the document. You've not seen the amount of the document. You don't know how much is going to be disbursed. But you are saying that you are going to disburse grants, not palliative. Have you seen deceit and contradiction in all that? You did.
well, that is, I think I have said this earlier, or just my second contribution. That is complete deceit. That is complete deceit. When you have not seen the document, you have not set your eyes on the document, you don't even know what is written on the document you are talking about, and you came up and told the masses that you give them a grant, not palliative, and they believed you. Isn't that a deception? Of course it is.
It is.
Yeah, it is. So at this point, grant community, although when you talk about grant community, this community is very, very vast. We have different kinds of people with different reasons.
It's
And
a heterogeneous society. It's a heterogeneous society on its own.
exactly, and with with a different level of understanding. So
Understanding.
yeah, so like this, our program this morning is to enlighten those who want to understand, because there are so many of them out there. Even if you use cutlass to cut off your hand in the name of proving what you are saying, they will not believe you. They
Yes.
will not believe you, because from onset, their mentality and their conviction is that they will go home with millions or billions. So when somebody comes out to tell them that they are disbursing grant, not palliative, they will believe. Even do you know that even up till now, many of them are still behaving like some people that were caged somewhere. There's some people that are being used by remote control to control them. So that is it. The truth there is that most of these grant handlers, they are pastors, apostles, and they cover themselves with big titles, and that
I
is
thought you want to say that they cover themselves with the blood of Jesus Christ.
with no, no. They cover themselves with big titles, and they're making the masses to believe them so much, because religion in Africa, especially in Nigeria, it has a negative impact as well. So when somebody comes out to say he's a pastor, he's an evangelist, he's a prophet, he's a bishop, he's this apostle and the other one,
It commands some level of respect and
yes,
trust.
yes, it commands some level of influence and trust. Like people, that knows what religion is, that believes in, that are Christians, and we know religion small. Like those people that comes out to say they are apostle and bishop, we call them daddy. Of course, you know what that means: spiritual daddy, even spiritual daddy, even physical daddy. That is what we are taught. So when a bishop comes out, or an apostle comes out to tell you that he's giving you this humongous amount of money, you believe him, because
To believe because he's a man of God.
because
God is a
yeah,
man of God.
yes, he's a man of God. You believe him. In fact, you'll be even calling him daddy, daddy.
Daddy.
Daddy. Yeah, yeah, thinking that what he was telling you is what is on ground. But by the end of the day, you discover that all those things are
It's
just lies,
all lies and deceit.
lies and deceit. They are all lies and
It's
deceit.
okay. It's okay. I want to bring the second leg of this discussion, and I want to call on Martin to expatiate on, if this were to be like all these humongous amount, what would have been the economic importance or economic implication to the Nigerian economy, Mr. Martins?
Okay, thank you once again, comrades. I laughed when Castro was talking and he said Apostle Wakama promised 3 million, or let's even say for 50 million Nigerians. That's 150 trillion. That means, and Ghana GDP as of 2022 was 72 trillion. So that means Ken Wakama is greater than 2 times of Ghana. If you look at it's evident for my masses. Because Ghana times 2 will be 144. So if it's given 3 million to 50 million Nigerians, or just 50 million Nigerians, that is 150 trillion. So multiply Ghana by 2, you see less than the worth of the grant handler. What a nonsense. It sounds very stupid for us to believe such a fallacy. It can never be true. That's by the way anyway. So from today, just is greater than 2 times of the GDP of Ghana. That's what the promise does. It's totally wrong. Okay? But let's even assume this is true, which I know no government in the world will ever agree that if a huge fund like this going to the system. I tried to study the GDP of Chicago. Chicago is one of the biggest states in the US. The GDP of Chicago is about $1 trillion. That's what that I mean about $10 trillion. So what it means is even our grandfathers are promised us trillion. By the time you do the calculation, you see that they're about almost half of a state in the US, which
Oh,
is
wow.
totally wrong. Totally wrong. So you want to look at a small state like New Jersey now in America, that means okay, Wakama will be greater in terms of GDP now, be much more than the GDP of New Jersey. That is a state in the US. It's not possible. Let's just be realistic. But let's even assume it's realistic. That okay, these funds are available and they're going to give it out to people to flex, to buy houses and do all those stuff. We all know, I'm sure all of us will agree with me, that the first effect will be the high level of inflation. Inflation will go up.
Yes.
I know we have two types of inflation. We have what we call cost push inflation, and we also have what we call demand pull inflation. Cost pull inflation is just the kind of inflation that is affected by factors of production like land, labor, and
Labor.
capital.
Capital,
When
yes.
all those things go up, when all those factors of production go up, definitely there's what we call cost push inflation. Then the cost of things to go up because cost of buying land has increased,
Will
wages
go
for
up, yes.
workers have increased, those will go up. But the major effect will be the demand pull inflation. That means cash flow has 10 million. I have 10 million. And there's a car in the market that is being sold for 5 million. Cash flow gets there. How much is this car? 5 million. It will not bother to price. I'll do 5 million. I mean, I get there. I say, no, it's me that wants to use this car. No.
So I will add additional 1 million to make it
I'll
6
add 2
million.
million. This is my dream car.
Mm.
Cash flow gets there tomorrow. I say, I know somebody has added 6 million. Say, what? Me, I have 10 million. I make it 8 million. And behold, at the end of the day, the seller sells for, let's say, 8 million, 9 million. The guy will wake up tomorrow and say, so these guys have money like this. He will go and buy another car to replace it and put a price of 12 million on it. So what it means is we have much more money chasing few goods.
Yes.
Feel good.
Yes.
So everybody has money. You have 10 billion, me I have 10 billion, you have 10 billion, I have 10 billion. So we have enough money chasing few goods. So the price of goods will go up. We call it the law of demand and supply.
Supply.
So naturally, without cost of production going up, without anything going up, the prices of things in the market will shoot up. And that's exactly what government is trying to avoid. They want to keep our inflation rate to be very, very low, as low as possible. So definitely it's going to push it. And that's why government is saying that if I give out palliative for 50k, or let's 50k or 100k, what it means, the effect in the market will be very low because 100,000, 50,000 in your hands will not definitely push out the price of materials, will not push out the price of goods in the market, it will not push out the cost of services in the market. Okay, so it will affect our demand. I mean, the cost of demand and supply would, I mean, the demand pool will affect the inflation rate extensively, I mean, massively for the economy of the country. That's number one effect that we're going to have. And under this, that's the government will always call the funds in circulation. Under monetary policy, they always introduce treasury bills, bonds, so that people can, when they now that treasury bill is high, if you want to buy treasury bill now, primary market is about 20%. And if the secondary market is about 18%. So if you put 10 million now, you can get, at the end of the year, you can get as high as 1.8 million. So people want to put their money in treasury bill instead of putting the money in circulation. You understand? Okay. So that's the way to mop out funds from circulation. And once they notice that in circulation too, we don't have enough funds, people don't have cash again to transact, they will reduce the cost of the rate on treasury bills and bonds. They can crash treasury bills to 5%, so that it will not be attractive anymore. They will not want to put their money in treasury bills anymore. We just take the money and use it for business. So that will pump money into the system. That is monetary policy of CBN to control the flow of cash in the system. I am very sure now that the rate of treasury bills and bonds are high, is because they have looked at the effect of this palliative they are pushing into the system. So they want to use the money to take the money back to them.
Back to the
so that we
system.
don't have so much funds in the circulation. Exactly. So that's how to control the
Okay. Okay. All right. But let me even ask. Let me ask. The age. I know a lot of confusion and abuses and causes that followed posters that would when he talked about palliative. That what the government or what the government will give is palliative. So, and people started saying whether that is what they have been waiting all these years for, 50,000 and all that, for them to be given palliative of 50,000 after waiting like 10 years in the grant community and all that. But, Mr. Martin, is it possible to still invest this palliative and still make money from it from the financial perspective?
Well, it's still possible, but you know that for you to invest in money market, we have different markets where you can invest your funds. If you invest in money markets now, we have limits for what you can do. For treasury bill, I think treasury bill is 100,000. You pull 100,000. I think foreign market for 100,000 today should be as high as 15% per annum, and they give you your interest upfront. So what it means is, as they are putting in the money, they are paying you interest. So after 365 days, let's say you do 1 year, you now return your principal to you. But because of the volume of what is available for us to use, which is just 50K, the government wants us to push this money into circulation, into the system. So that somebody that is selling tomatoes can have 50K and use that 50K to buy extra things to add up to the working capital. You understand? Somebody that is paying school fees can put the money to pay school fees. The school can hire more money for them to expand the school activities and do some other programs. So basically, this fund is just to inject into the system, inject this fund into the system and grow the economy. So you understand? Yeah. You can buy food stores, you can pay school fees, you can do. Because for you to even do treasury bill, you must have 100,000. So as far as I'm concerned, the palliative that is coming is to solve immediate problems, to get the funds into the system. Even this palliative now, if you look at it very well, if they give to about 50 million Nigeria, there is 50K. It's also into trillions.
Yes.
It's about 2.5 trillion. If you put the 50K, multiply by 50 million Nigerians that we have, I think it's about 250 billion. So if you get 250 billion into the economy of Nigeria, this against the allocation that we mentioned is a lot of money. If our allocation is 1.8 trillion and government is getting 250 billion, that's about 20% of the allocation in a month. So it's still a lot. If you force into the system to like an oil in the system, so that the system can flow and flow. People that are going campaign, they are little debts and other things. So it's a plus, but it's not enough for people to do investment. It's just for you to, it's just going to put the money into the system. People use it, pay debts, buy food stuff, settle school fees and some other things. But if you can do up to 100,000, you can take it to treasury bill. Okay, treasury bill, I want to place this 100,000 with me for 1 year, and I'll earn my interest at 18%. That's the minimum. For bond, I think for revolutionary bond, that the one you rotate on monthly basis, that you is as high as 1 million. But if you want to do a tenor bond that is about 5 years, the minimum one can do is 50 million. So if you have you can save up to 1 million, you can give it to bond. Bond will run at 19%, and they'll be dropping your interest for you on monthly basis. That is for rotating bonds. Then for tenor bond, you can do as high as 5 years, but the more you can do is 50 million. So if you look at what government is giving us, it's basically to push into the economy like a hole in the wheel, just to keep the system alive. People can have extra money, people can gain more money. Now that there's cash crunch, people don't have money to buy things like that. the purchasing power has gone down. So they want to push this into the system to oil the system. So that is the way it is. Then another thing, another effect that this humongous money will create for us is that it will crash our what? Our currency. Naira will drop drastically. Now the dollar is about 1,500 naira now per dollar.
The dollar,
If you have such for dollar will go as high as 2,500. Okay?
Wow.
Because a lot of
Wow.
people will now go and be buying dollars and keep their funds in dollars.
Yes.
And when there's high demand on FX, high demand on dollars and foreign currency, definitely the price will shoot up.
That's
The price will
correct.
shoot up.
That's
The
correct.
price will shoot up. So those are the effects. And you know, most of our purchasing overseas now is on FX. So that means the cost of production will go up because all those manufacturers that are importing goods to Nigeria and raw materials to Nigeria and all those things, it will go up. Cost of materials will go up. So everything will go up. So the effect is negative. So and that's why there's no government in the world that will allow each inflow of funds into the system. So anyone deceiving himself, I mean anyone thinking that is expecting 2 million, 3 million is grant, I'm not looking for palliative for 50K, 100K. They are just deceiving themselves. There is no one in the world that will do that. Let me give you an instance. The challenge we have with this is the number. I know somebody in the US after COVID that got a grant of $20,000. But that could only happen to maybe one in a town, not a great number of people. Like let's say
Not 75 million people.
Of course.
5 million, that could go to maybe 1 million people that will have that.
Yeah.
But that I have.
It's okay. So I want to thank everybody, all the discussants, all the participants for this insightful discussion this morning. I want to thank Mr. Martin, an economist and financial expert. I want to thank Comrade Francis and Mr. Cashflow. We are sorry that we had a bit of technical each along the line, but we are happy that we've come to the end of this program today. Some other programs, stay tuned. We will come your way again to look at other issues in subsequent program. So I want to thank you and wish everybody a happy weekend. Thank you. My name is Anush Macaulay, your host.